Music and its effects on intelligence. Music. It's generally one of those things that just about everyone likes, just like a cold glass of lemonade in the middle of summer. One of those things that makes us human. Now, different people like different kinds of music. I mean, there's so many genres with millions of people loving each one, maybe even as a favorite. And I had heard from family members and others that babies who listen to Mozart are smarter than their futures. From personal experience, listening to music affects my mood. But does it change humans on a psychological level? Does it have an effect on intelligence? Now, my research question is something I've always wondered about. Does listening to different kinds of music, or even music in general, have any effect on our intelligence? And there's this little adorable animation called Jack Jack Attack, and it has a little bit to do with what I mentioned about babies listening to Mozart and it affecting their intelligence. Now, some background information. Intelligence is the ability to learn from one's experience, acquire knowledge, and use resources efficiently in adapting to new situations or solving problems. Emotional intelligence, on the other hand, is the awareness of and ability to be self-motivated, able to feel what others feel, and socially skilled. Intelligence quotient is something that we hear a lot. It's the IQ test. But I really didn't know what it was until I looked it up. It's the number representing a measure of intelligence resulting from the division of one's mental age by one's chronological age, and then multiplying it by 100. So, what this means is that if you were to take a test when you are 6 years old and when you're 20 years old, and get the same mental age, but your chronological age has changed, then you do in fact have a different IQ. So this is something that can actually change quite frequently. Now, executive function is learned self-regulatory skills that deal with memory, finding solutions, and control of oneself. Music lessons in elementary age children. Children that were encouraged and shown how to use active learning when being taught music often were impacted much more by it. In effect, short-term increases in intelligence were shown in the statistics, and the difference was minimal. Unfortunately, on the other hand, long-term changes cannot be proven. And I think it is important to note that while music does not hinder academic progress, no evidence points to it being the only cause of higher IQ scores in many of these tests. Although it is commonly thought that certain types of music can affect infants to the point of bettering their brain development, there's no specific evidence supporting this either. Now, music lessons in adolescence. Music lessons and IQ do have a positive relationship. This is extremely common knowledge. Even at my middle school, almost all those that were in either choir or band or orchestra were in the advanced classes as well. Just as drama students were usually more sociable, and even this correlation can be seen between emotional intelligence and ballet dancers' ability, in that specific activities can in fact be linked to certain traits of those who participate in them. Now, question I am really interested in: does listening to or preferring different genres of music affect intelligence? Now, in the article Favorite Musical Styles, Emotional Intelligence, and Adolescent Personality, the study goes over exactly this. The results show that music preference can be used to predict the listener's overall personality, such as listeners of rock music generally have a more abrasive and unself-confident persona, while those who like electronic music had great association between emotional intelligence and extroversion, even though they were more anxious. So these results also showed that the different genres generally had an effect on intelligence, but very, very minimally. Essentially, music genre preference is more of a reflection of personality rather than intelligence. Now, one of the main problems with these studies is the question regarding direction of causality and the inconsistency in them. Essentially, no one can find out whether music lessons make people more intelligent or if smarter people are just more inclined to take those lessons in the first place. Why this hasn't been proven is because it would require very invasive and manipulative power over people's lives, and unfortunately, people aren't generally willing to volunteer for such an experiment. Also, the studies can be inexact and inconsistent, since having a requirement of taking lessons for a certain amount of time doesn't consider whether or not the children enjoyed doing it or even actively learned from them. So there we have it. That's my sources, and all the images I used were not copyrighted. Thank you very much.